Christian leaders from around the world came to the city of Jerusalem for what's become a major annual event, the Jerusalem Prayer Breakfast. I sat down with three key participants of this year's gathering. Well, it's great to be with you all to talk about the Jerusalem Prayer Breakfast. Anne Graham-Lotz, Albert Veksler, and member of Knesset, Robert Ilatov. Robert, can you tell us how this Jerusalem Prayer Breakfast got started 2 years ago?
As the chairman of the committee that promotes relations with the Christian world, I decided to do something extra to make contact between the Jewish state and the Christian world. And I thought Jerusalem is something that unites us on this topic, and the prayer for Jerusalem is a joint thing that can really push us forward in order that our relations will be warmer, direct, and more effective. When we speak about prayer for Jerusalem, praying for the peace of Jerusalem, we're speaking about the word shalom. Shalom has the root of wholeness, unity, completeness. These are the things that precede this word. Therefore, to pray for the peace of Jerusalem is to pray for her peace and also for her wholeness. This event is a truly unifying event, strengthening the relations between us and all the Christian world.
So now you've just had the second annual Jerusalem Prayer Breakfast. What has happened in the past 2 years?
Well, it's been a miracle to see how these different leaders from all over the world have come together, sensing that this is the time to support Israel, to pray for Jerusalem. Because the calling of the Jerusalem Prayer Breakfast is, of course, to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, according to the scriptures in Isaiah, where we read that God has deposited his watchmen on the walls of Jerusalem and asked them not to give him silence until he makes Jerusalem praise on the earth. It's really God's instrument of gathering people, mobilizing the church to stand with Israel and to pray for Jerusalem.
How would you describe the reaction of Christian leaders in the last couple of years to the Jerusalem Prayer Breakfast?
I think the response has been overwhelming, and it's been positive, to say the least. People have been very excited to get their invitation from the Knesset to come and pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Because I believe this is the new thing here. You have a call come out of this house behind us to say to the Christian leaders, come, support us, and pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
And you were here on the second annual Jerusalem Prayer Breakfast. What did you think when you got the invitation?
I thought it was phenomenal. In fact, just what Albert has just described, the people around the world being moved of God's Spirit to pray for the peace of Jerusalem, that hasn't been happening in the past. So God is moving. I feel like his focus is very much, it always has been, but you just sense in the Christian world, God's focus on this city and this land and these people, and rallying people like me, a Gentile woman, and others from around the world to pray for the peace of Jerusalem and to pray for the people here. And so when I received my invitation from Robert Ilatov, it was very official, and he was explaining his heart and his vision and inviting me to come and participate, actually, to be a speaker. I met kings and people who were princes in the royal family and members of parliament from all over the world, as well as ordinary people like me, or ministry leaders, pastors, who God has placed a burden on their hearts to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And, I was born 1 week after Israel was reborn. So she was born on May 14, I was May 21st, both 1948. So I feel like my life has been intertwined with Israel from the day I was born, actually. And so this is the year of God's favor, I believe, and the year of answered prayer, the year of blessing. The New Testament tells us that God's blessings are not just to hoard or to enjoy, but they're to bring us to deep repentance and a gratitude, a fresh gratitude to our God who sends all blessings that are worth having come from above. So when we're blessed in this 70th year, I believe it's a time to turn to God and to thank him and to express our gratitude.
Robert, obviously you wanted to reach out to the Christian leaders around the world to have them pray for the peace of Jerusalem. How significant is Christian support for the state of Israel?
We see the connection and the support of the Christian world toward Israel as very strong in these last days, especially the Christians who believe in the Old and the New Testament, that this year we've reached 70 years since the establishment of the state of Israel, actually one of the prophecies fulfilled. And we're here. The Jews arrived and returned from all over the world to this land, and established the state of Israel, revived the language, and we're continuing the commandment of God on this land.
And can I insert something?
Sure.
Because it's not just to unite us, but God is a prayer hearing, a prayer answering, a miracle working, covenant keeping God. So I believe God's calling people to pray because He wants to pour out His blessing in the 70th year and answer our prayers and bring peace to the hearts of people, bring peace to these people. So it's not just an exercise, you know, it's reaching out to the living God and asking for His blessing.
I want to invite you next year to join us in prayer for the peace of Jerusalem. I want to invite the Christian leadership to come next year to Jerusalem to participate in joint prayer.
Well, Minister of Knesset Robert Ilatov and Anne Graham-Lotz, Albert Veksler, thanks you so much for talking about Jerusalem prayer breakfast, and hopefully we'll be seeing that for the third one next year here in Jerusalem.
Alpha,